Yeah, this is Drew, Untouchables.com, Untouchables for Christ member, to the heart and to the fullest. Shoot, we coming in to report a thorough catastrophic dream. Long story short, from what I recall from the dream, I was in the city, but I was near a junkyard. At the same time, I want to say a shed, like a little building, a shed. And it was funny, but it was a dog. It was a dog on a chain inside of the shed. The dog could probably come out about 20 feet outside of the house, but he couldn't get off the chain. He was still on the chain, was chained to something in the shed or whatever. I heard the dog rambling, barking loud. Came outside, and I'm like, what's this dog want? What's this dog finna do? And all of a sudden, the dog, I promise, grows about 20 feet high and about 40 feet wide. And I was so scared that I just thought I was dead. You know how you get scared to the point where, all right, I'm screwed. We might as well not be scared because I'm finna die. Well, that's how I felt. Long story short, the dog just looked straight ahead. Didn't look at me. It was barking. In somewhat of a sense, like the dog was trying to protect me. So I'm looking over to where it's looking at, but I don't see nothing. So it's just woods. Even though we in a city setting, some throwed anyway. The dog goes back to its normal size and goes back in the shed. And the reason I'm here is I'm waiting for a ride to come get me out of this place. Anyway, nighttime falls, and here we are. I see a lady in a black like robe, like the what's that girl, Little Red Riding Hood. It was like her cape, but only thing it was black. So the lady sat down. Like I say, it was like a city setting, but the dog was looking straight ahead towards like a wooded area. The lady made a fire. We sat down. She say, don't be afraid, because she let the dog off the chain, and the dog came to her and sit down by the fire. And she said, sit down, don't be afraid. Man, when she talking about don't be afraid, she must have read my mind, because I'm scared. I'm scared to death. I'm like, but I take her for a word. She don't look like she gonna hurt me. I'm thinking this dog will, but the lady looking scary. So anyway, the lady pick up a Bible, start reading some verses out of it. Can't recall what the verses were, but what I can recall is what she said after she started reading, and that was, she said, people are always mentioning things that they're scared of, such as demons, devils, ghosts, etc. But she said what people fail to realize, and what tickles me, is they're scared of the things they shouldn't be. But the things they are scared of, they have the audacity to try to think they can even challenge that, being God. And she said this, quote, if only they knew who they was. Ooh, that's scary. And what she was finna say was, if only they knew who they were messing with. Because she's saying at the same time, people, which are humans, fear what they fear what they don't understand. And the devils and the demons and all them things, those are something that we do not understand. But what we try to understand, which is God, we don't fear, and that's the only person we should be scared of. And then the lady goes on to talk about the forgiveness of God. She said back in the old days, which is being the Old Testament, that it wasn't that easy. I mean, we didn't have a Jesus. They didn't have a Jesus Christ. And to ask God for forgiveness itself was one of the scariest thoughts in the world. Because being how, for example, she said like Job, he didn't even know that the devil was doing these things to him. He didn't know that God was allowing the devil to do these things to him, but he did know that God had something to do with it, because that was the only source of higher power that he knew of. What she was saying was, she doesn't know how she knows how the Old Testament, depending on God, and just the mere thought, because it was rap shown in the Old Testament, just the mere thought of, quote, pissing off God, close quote, was just scary and life-threatening. And she said, if we only knew that we have that same God, but instead we do have a Jesus as well, she said, if we only really grasp that thought, what would our thoughts be towards this Christianity life, this Christian life, with that in mind. And so, long story short, to come to a conclusion, I think the moral of the dream was really, you know, don't fear the unknown. Fear God. That's the only thing we should fear. God said, fear me, you know, not anything else. And until we get that, I don't think we can really just grasp the essence of God. And so, like I say, the lady had this dog right by, the same dog that grew 20 feet, and telling me don't be afraid and preaching the word of God. That lady, don't know, I can't interpret what she was, maybe you can, but this lady was somebody special, somebody that she could control this dog and at the same time preach the word of God and not fear the evil, only fear God. It's crazy. It's your boy Drew, Untouchables.com, Untouchables for life. Holla.